Hey guys, what is up? This is Rob back again. How are you doing? Thanks for joining me on the channel. It's always good to be here. So today I'm going to talk a bit about Santiago de los Caballeros, Santiago in the Dominican Republic. I'm going to talk a bit about the pros and the cons of being here. Just kind of let you know how I found it, and finally, would I recommend it to you? So I've been here in the city for a few months now, around just around 3 months. I had been in Puerto Plata city, as you probably saw from my last video. If you haven't, check it out. And I just wanted to be in a place with a few more amenities, a few more things going on, quite a few more people around, and to be honest, it's ticked all those boxes just fine. I've been living in the south of the city in Villa Olímpica. I'm going to do a whole separate video on where to live in Santiago, but I'm not going to focus on that in this video. But just to say that I am living in the south of the city, in kind of a working class neighborhood. Not the best neighborhood, not a terrible neighborhood either. Working class, normal neighborhood. Definitely a bit rough around the edges, that's for sure. It's definitely not one of the nicer parts of town, but I am living in a really nice Airbnb, and it's for that reason that I've stayed actually in this part of town. Otherwise I'd be in a completely different part of the city. But so far so good. However, I am actually leaving this weekend. I'm off to Cibao. I've had enough, and I'll get into why in this video. So, pro. One of the best things about being here in Santiago is the convenience. There's a lot of big shopping centers, all the brands, all the shops that you can imagine. Plenty of supermarkets. I mean, there's around 3 or 4 supermarkets within a 5-minute walking distance from where I am at the minute. I've just been going to one called Barrio, which is one of the local supermarkets, which is the closest to my house, and it's great. They're always fully stocked. You can find everything that you need. I do all my cooking most of my cooking from home. So it's just been really convenient, to be honest, in that respect. So that's been one of the best things about being here. Pure convenience. Whereas in Puerto Plata, I mean, you've only got a couple of big supermarkets, but they're always absolutely packed because you've got people coming from all over, even from the provinces, just to go to these big supermarkets. So you can't just kind of pop in for a quick, buy a couple of things quickly. You end up waiting around for ages and queuing, and that's a nightmare. So just having so many little convenience stores around and mini supermarkets has been so convenient, to be honest. It's one of the best things about being here. Con. So definitely the biggest con, or one of the biggest cons about being here, is the traffic. Oh, it's a nightmare. It's absolutely ridiculous. I take Ubers. I don't drive here, and I wouldn't want to drive here, but I take Ubers all over the city. And to be honest, they're very, very, very reasonably priced. You can get pretty much across the city for around, how much would it be? $3-4, something like that. Pretty much get most places for that. And then of course you're probably gonna give a tip. You'll give a tip on top of that as well. One of the big problems with getting around with the Ubers, I'll probably do a separate video on that, but is that the drivers are not the best with Uber, I have to say. They will try and negotiate for more money very often, especially at night time. I actually had my phone stolen by an Uber driver as well. I mean, well, I left it in the cab, literally realized like a second later, ran out, he'd gone, and since then they got into my phone. They've been trying to get into my socials and all that as well, so it kind of left a bit of a bad taste in the mouth, to be honest. But yeah, just be aware, I suppose. It's one of those things that can happen anywhere, I guess. Pro. So Santiago has a lot of really good restaurants. We're not talking world-class restaurants here, but decent restaurants, pretty good variety, all sorts of food that you wouldn't find maybe in Puerto Plata, for example. It's not as good as Santo Domingo either, but it's somewhere in the middle. It's a pretty sweet spot. You'll never get bored. There is a lot of variety here. Lots of bars as well. Loads of clubs. Clubbing is good here. So yeah, one of the best things about being here has been variety. Con. So this is in the interior of the country. You're not going to find any beaches around here. You've got some mountains and so on around here, but you're not going to find any beaches. You're not going to find that tourist vibe. So if that's what you're looking for, don't come to Santiago. Pro. So Santiago's weather is a lot better than you'll find at the coast. It's a lot more comfortable. I feel it's quite a bit cool. I mean, not a lot cooler, but it definitely feels cooler here than it was in Puerto Plata. A lot less humid, at least, and yeah, it just feels more comfortable. It's still hot. Don't get me wrong. It's still hot every day. I mean, it's April now, end of April 2026. We're having basically like temperatures up to around 30, between 30 and 32 during the day, during the height of the day. And that'll only get hotter as the months go on. So I don't care what people tell you. I've been here, I've seen it for myself. Santiago is not, it's not a super safe city. It's not, if you mind your own business, you do what you got to do, you don't take crazy risks, you don't get involved with the wrong people, you're probably going to be absolutely fine. Touch wood, I haven't had any problems really here, but it's not a safe city. I mean, if you talk to the locals, if you follow the local Spanish-speaking news, you'll realize that the locals have a big concern about public safety right now. There's a lot of crimes, and most of those crimes are road rage incidents as well. There was a guy driving a public dumpster, a rubbish truck, last week. He got into an altercation with a gang of motorcyclists, and they literally stabbed him to death. This happens all the time here. In fact, literally right in front of my my Airbnb, the week before I had arrived, there's a little convenience store, and some guys had gone in there, obviously with guns, and tried to rob the owner's son of his chain. He had this big chunky gold chain. Obviously, he didn't want to give it up, and there was a shootout. The kid got shot to death. That's literally like right in front, stone's throw away from where I am right now. This happens all the time. Every week there's murders going on. I don't want to scare you. It's not like it's like the most dangerous place in the world. But yeah, it's not a safe city. You definitely wouldn't want to go walking around. I wouldn't want to go walking around this neighborhood after dark, to be honest. Yeah, that's just what it is. It's what it is in Latin America, but definitely more so here in the city compared to Puerto Plata, for example. Pro. So there's very few tourists here. Well, this may be a pro or it may be a con, depending on where you're coming from. Now, for me, it was a pro. So you're not seeing tourists all over the place. You're not getting rinsed with tourist prices all over the place. People aren't really ripping you off. There's not that kind of culture of taking advantage of tourists at all, because there's just not very tourists here. You might see a few walking around. I actually haven't, to be honest, I haven't seen many tourists walking around at all. You might see, quite a few Dominican Americans for sure, but like the snowbirdy type of people, you just don't really see them. There's no real infrastructure here for that type of tourism. So for me, that was a pro. It's a lot more authentic. I feel like I'm getting to know the culture a lot more than when I was in Puerto Plata, which is a bit more touristy for sure. Even in Puerto Plata, though, there's not that many tourists at the moment, other than from the cruise ships, But I guess that's going to change when I go to Sosua. But to be honest, it's going to be a change. It's going to be something a bit different, and I welcome the change. But for me, having been here for a few months, it's been a definite plus not seeing tourists all over the place. I would say if you don't speak Spanish, you're going to struggle here. For sure. I mean, I don't think I've met anyone that's been spoken English really. To be honest, I'm sure there are. Of course there are, but I haven't met any. It's mostly Spanish. Luckily, I speak fluent Spanish, so I've been alright. But just bear that in mind. I mean, it might be a good place to come and learn Spanish. But if you want that full immersion experience, which is probably what you want if you want to learn Spanish, so it might not be a bad spot for that actually. However, that's also a con. So because of the fact there's so few tourists, there's no infrastructure for tourism. I mean, there's a couple of little museums around town. There's a fort I've been trying to see since I got here, but it doesn't open at the weekends. It's like an old Spanish colonial fort. Yeah, I haven't been able to go because they don't open at weekends. They close by I think 4 or 5 o'clock. So I'm working all day. So by the time I finish work, they're closed. Can't go at the weekend. They're not. There's no. It's just not geared up for tourists. It's not geared up for visitors, really. The museums that they do have are just not really very good. I'm not going to lie to you. There's some really nice old bars, though. There are some really nice old colonial bars. They've been pretty cool. There's a very little historical centre, Centro Histórico. which is just a few streets around in the set in downtown, which is all right. It's quite interesting. Nothing compared to Santo Domingo, or even nothing compared to Puerto Plata. But interesting, you know, nice. There's nice buildings around for sure. So would I recommend it? I don't know. It's like it could be a good base. It could be a good base for somebody. There's some really nice areas of the city. I kind of came here thinking it could be a long-term option, but nah, I just don't think it's for me. Again, like, this is only my opinion. I think it could be a good base for some people. You can get decent Airbnbs here. The rental prices are pretty good. People are all right. People are not overly friendly. They're not really used to seeing tourists. Not unfriendly, mostly, either. It's like most of the Dominican Republic, to be honest. But probably a bit more unfriendly compared to Puerto Plata, I would say. I think they're just a bit more used to seeing foreign tourists over there. So a lot of people just look at you like they don't really know what to say or what to what to think of you. Bear in mind the points that I've mentioned. They're completely honest. I'm going to be leaving this week. I think it's going to be the best thing for me. But I probably won't come back. I probably won't come back, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not saying that other people might not enjoy it as well. You know, there's, as I say, there's plenty of places to eat, plenty of bars if you're into that kind of thing. There's just not much else to do. I mean, you've got nice surrounding countryside and so on. Yeah, so that's my honest opinion. I've had a good time. I'm glad that I came. Yeah, I met some cool people. I've got to know quite a lot about Dominican life, real Dominican life outside of the tourist areas, you know, which was the objective. So I think mission completed, mission accomplished. So there you go. That's my honest opinion of Santiago. Really appreciate you watching the video. Stay tuned. There's lots more content to come. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate that. I'm Rob, and I'll see you down the road. This has been Hustling Abroad.